Thank you, Nikolaus König, also for the kind introduction. It is really a pleasure to see you again. I don't know exactly, but I think some 20 years ago, or 25 years ago, or 20. Okay, 20, not 20 for sure. We were together on stage in Rotterdam and the evening for the Ludic Society. And I was therapeuting Nikolaus to being a game addict. He was playing it, of course. It was a role play with a Sigmund Freud couch. And it has a little bit to do with our complete topic today. Something that is like addiction to money, to merits, to capital, to the capitalist connotation of gaming industries in total and of play. We had this today already on the panel, and what you see in the background is already images we collected in this installation, experimental game art installation here in the entrance, which was done by Stefan Glasauer, who is next to me, neuroscientist and head of computational neurosciences. I showed that here from the Brandenburg Technical University Cottbus, and also my co-author of the article of the paper will be Thomas Brandstetter, who is a game theoretician of monochrome and also lecturer at the EGC, at the experimental game cultures, and I, myself and I, we are experimental game cultures. I'm the head of this new department at the University of Applied Arts. It's now 2 years, so we are quite new in the master's program. Thanks for colleagues from Angewandte being here. I see in the audience at least one. Thank you, thank you. And yeah, so this is the background. Experimental game cultures, experimenting with the core of play and using ludic method for it. So what is a ludic method? This is, I said, we were together on stage, Nikmi, with the Ludic Society. I founded this society in 2006, I think, as basis of my artistic PhD at the University of Plymouth, where I developed a method that is based on play in order also to intervene to the core questions of society. And here we have this hybrid was mentioned in the talk before by the gentleman from the gambling industries. That's quite interesting because hybrid ludic assemblage is core of this method, that we make combinations of games, elements of game cultures, of game mechanics, but also of experiments, experimental game cultures, coming from sciences, co-developing it with scientists. AI is in the title as well, so AI is an element of this game, but also to have this connection of art, scientific approaches, and socially relevant action. I really think it's socially relevant, this action that we enact when we play with games. Playing with games per se, as not playing a game, but playing with games as a method. This is a ludic method where these hybrid game assemblages, they are often taking shape in prototypes. We focus on this conscious change of established dynamics of world and of the game. So optional game mechanics in ludic arrangements between human and non-human items. We only talked about games for humans, but there are games much more than for humans. With AI is a non-human, animal is a non-human, and also all other entities. So here, with this installation, KOPFGELD, it is called, you pay with your face, you pay with your physiological appearance. You have a game situation, so to say, where KOPFGELD is you're putting in a certain situation of non-consensual play. We talked about dark patterns of game design. There are a lot of non-consensual plays, which is a theoretical problem because a game should be consensual anyway, otherwise it wouldn't be a game in the classical theories or game theories. But these are dark patterns of game designs that often have a kind of certain situation that you are put in. And in this situation, as Trammell is talking about in Ceres and Sagal, situating the installation in the context of low interaction games or almost no interaction games. I don't know if you were sitting at the desk there, but you sit there. Is this already a game? If you sit and look into the screen, and then immediately your face is captured. And this is in the tradition of dark play also, which is an artistic tradition, I would say, as described by Sickert 2015, where it is also about a power position. Are you played by the game or is the game playing you? This is a sort of theoretical question. We have a theoretical foundation for that in this book of Trammell with Repairing Play, 2023. It's an interesting compensation drawing different game study series together, which I can highly recommend, where we can reflect this radical art game on dark play, AI, face recognition, and cache. KOPFGELD addresses the non-consensual play, as I said, with AI systems. Why is that so? What is it doing? What are you seeing in the background? So your face is captured. You were noticing that, or maybe you didn't try it out, but you sit in front of it, then your face is captured, and the face is measured, it's analyzed, classified, and it is transferred into a prompt for a running AI system in the back. So your face says, make money, Geldschein, money, banknote in the look of my face. It is a bit differently coded, Stefan will explain later, but then it is your individual design that is made, of course, by the AI system. So we are playing with the status quo of OpenAI, and we designed an individual banknote for each player. And in this different, so I don't do any design as artist, which is fine. It's annoying anyway a lot of time. It's totally fine. We can make the most interesting work, which is the conceptualization, with an emerging technology. And that's often what we can do with play, playing with emerging technologies in order to shape it and co-shape it. So this, and you are sitting in front of player and you become a citizen scientist because you have this experience of training an AI and maybe reflecting what is happening with me. Why is now my face, like a KOPFGELD, transferred as capital into this system? Because, of course, we collect stationary, not online, the faces. And this is an earlier version of this piece, which was called Ludic Eigenfaces. It explains a bit the piece as well, because it is a currency converter. It transfers, that was shown at Parallel Vienna 2022, your face into Bitcoin, into Euro, Bitcoin, so it gives it a certain value, according to the classification the AI is doing with your face recognition, with your face. The face recognition is doing the classification with your face, sorry. That was at the Ignaz Semmelweis Clinic, which was quite a good location for us with this art fair in 2022, the Ludic Eigenface currency converter. Eigenface is a mathematical term also. I don't go into the deepness of this, but it is a way how face recognition can work in a multidimensional space where each face is positioned in this, let's say, 500 dimension space, depending on the weight of an AI, understanding the technology itself as game material. And the Ignaz Semmelweis Clinic was a birth room. So this was the birth room for this surveillance KOPFGELD installation. And Happy Monkeys was an earlier piece even, 2019, at the AIL, Angewandte Innovation Laboratory Gallery at Handelskein, the first district, where you had to be also in this interpassive situation, involuntary play. You were laying there, your face was captured and recognized, and you had to be a happy face, then you were scoring, a happy monkey. So it's all a bit ironic play messages, and this play is not voluntary for the player, not necessarily voluntary for the played. This play is a subject-object relationship, not a subject-subject relationship, as Trammell will coin it. That was at Republica 2020. Another that was in a Corona break also. Another parallel where play captivates. It is captured. That's also a theory. When we play, we capitulate. To have this experience in what position I am as player. This is what these experimental art pieces are showing in terms of theory. They have to do with money and cash. This is zero actions in the savings bank. The new department is located at the PSK of Otto Wagner. And this is in the Otto Wagner Kassenhalle, a game performed as part of a research project also that we did the last 2 years there. And eine Kassenhalle, there was a transfer of money, and here we have now zero action. It is a sort of abusive game design. Two players are laying like a Abramovich performance with EEGs, where your head signals, the brainwave signals are captured. Neuromatic game art was the name of this research project. It was a FWF peak-funded project for 2 years, where we analyzed electroencephalograms as tools for artistic expression in game settings. So to say, as game interfaces, but not to control something, but to generate, let's say, environments. Or here, you were seeing in this situation of self-observation, of speculation, also like what a speculator does at the trade stock exchange, nothing, lying there, and only seeing if the two brain activities synchronize, even if you do nothing, but lying there. 15 minutes? How much time do I have? Because these games are based on low interaction. They are low interaction games, almost no interaction games. Now, this is zero action, but still we do something. We observe ourselves, we move the feet, we move the hand, everything. Yeah, it is a simultaneous hyperscan EEG, zero actions in the saving banks. It was low interaction games, which Larissa Wild is analyzing. I was a supervisor of her master studies. She was writing and elaborating these low interaction games and classifying it as a new subversive genre. It is not only casual and idle playing with these low interactions. It's so think about cookie clicker, cow clicker, all the casual games. You do very, very little action, but you're already satisfied. And there is low interaction that she analyzed, where we have a time constraint, input constraints, mechanic constraints. And all these are between low interactivity, high interactivity. I even would say in the artistic experimental game art pieces, we even go towards no interactivity, and still we play with the system of games, so to say. And if I bring it back now to the whole work that we are showing here, so here is the setup this June at Republica Berlin, RP23. The money of this conference was also cash. The topic of this was also money. It was called cash. And we showed the first version of KOPFGELD there and developed it also as an installation to show it in the context. There was the German Minister of Finance was speaking, Meredith Whittaker was speaking. She's the one who analyzed all these traumatizing labor in relation to AI that is done by the people in the South who classify the censored contents, etc., who get really deep traumas about it. So all that is in, so to say, financial, in a money system. I want to go to the next one. Now I did it, yeah. A dark pattern that has to do with the technologies that are the basis and one of the rules of play also. So that where AI, especially in game development, plays a big role. We play here with the AI and try to bring into your consciousness as player also this dark pattern. And that in the moment when you play, you gain some sovereignty. And you also get some cash, which is printed out. And at Republica, you had this monetary advance of these three types of the dark patterns of game design, which are temporal, monetary, and social, where you also could get a drink. Next one, please. I ruined somehow, I think, this control machine here. If I can get the next, thank you. By looking into a camera, the players agree, dark pattern, that their face is used to train a closed AI system. Each face is monetarized by the AI, a score is attributed, it is higher, the closer the calculated face is to the average face of all former players. It's very nasty, so you win if you are absolutely average. Yeah, esports. No, would be a new take. Think about it. It's possible that was at Republica, and yeah, I think this is quite interesting point that from all locally stored faces, a counterfeit is calculated that looks like the actual player, but doesn't actually exist. So the face you are seeing is not really your face. So it's also a play with the legal problems. It's not really your face. It's a newly calculated face looking like your face, which is possible because of the data that you willingly submit if you agree to visit or to look into a game or an art installation. Very often you agree. Of course, we can eliminate your face because we can recognize you again. And if Natalie says she wants to be out, we can even find that. Stefan, or? Yeah, okay, yes, you can. Theoretically, we can, and we already did this, because at the Kunstmesse, some people wanted to have print out as art pieces, which we then could do also. So we also could erase it if you ask us to do that. But you actively have to ask to be erased, which is also a strange thing. So, next one, please. Thank you very much. We use Stable Diffusion, the AI system, for an individualized Geldschein look, including the original camshot. By looking longer into the installation camera, that more pictures are taken, the player can bias the image database and thereby increase their score. I would like to invite Stefan to come on stage here and to go further into this explanation. Next slide, please.
Okay, now we have a next slide. Thank you very much. So I'm just talking about a couple of parts of the interface and how we did it technically. How we did it technically. So there's, as you can see, this is a screen which you can see actually in the next room, and there are a couple of interface elements there, which you can see here. So, for example, we have in the top, we have this high score written at the top, and you can see your own high score. And the high score will be higher the more you look like the average face. So the average face would be what is in the upper right, actually. So this is in this case it looks like yellowish, orange, but it doesn't mean anything. So it's more like the black and white counterpart of it. You can see a couple of kind of these fuzzy faces down there. These are the first eigenfaces generated by the system. Eigenfaces are kind of a decomposition of all the faces in the database, in the whole database. And from this eigenface, we are constructing then the most similar face. So basically, what you see there in the middle is not the face we are capturing, but it is the most similar face constructed from everything in the database. So this is like AI systems which generate some kind of image using all the input you gave them before, but it's not actually something which was input to the system. It's a kind of a new construction. It's something new made out of the ingredients of all these ingredients which you have in the database. So how do we do the face recognition? We first detect an upper body, and if the upper body is detected, then we find a face. So this is a kind of a stepwise procedure, which is important in this case because otherwise you would find a lot of stuff in the background which are not faces and stuff like that. So it was a kind of a big job to do that actually. And then when we have all these faces, we go to the part where we generate the money. So for the money, we have first, as I said, face recognition, then we have some image processing, then we insert the processed image into this kind of template, which looks like a banknote, but actually is no banknote, yeah? It's the banknote. And this banknote is then the input to an image-to-image procedure for Stable Diffusion, for this AI system, which generates then a banknote, which looks like the one below there in the corner. So this has also a face in it, and some other elements which look every time different, of course, and which are based basically also on your face when you look in this camera. And I think this is a nice thing that we can do now with these AI systems, with this new generation of AI systems. It's really, it's unique. Yeah, it's generating something unique which you don't get a second time. So the chance is really, really low that you get it exactly this same thing a second time. And then, of course, you have the final image processing where we kind of insert the face again, and that's what we print out if you get the high score. If you don't get the high score, then you have to wait. Then you have to sit there, because the longer you sit there, the more your face biases the kind of average face. Yeah? So sit long enough, then we will get the high score. And that's it from our part. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the tour de force. We were hurrying, sorry. You can get the folder.